Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. Thanks so much for joining me. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel and check out the other videos. And if you're here for a second, third, or fourth time, thank you so much for coming back and getting creative. Alright guys, this is a perfect painting for my first time painters using black and white paint. So grab your supplies, head on over to your place that you're going to be painting, and make sure you take your progress photos today. Now, you are more than welcome to switch out any colors. If you want to do a different background, you can do whatever you want. But we're going to be starting in the center with a light gray. So that is white with a little touch of gray. And yours may be lighter or darker than mine. And on here, I actually made a pile and then realized that that was too dark. So I made a new pile and added more white. So if you're having trouble getting that light gray, it's okay to make two piles. We're going to use that middle gray at a later point. So once you have your light gray on there, we're going to start in the center and just basically create a circle and then just keep making that circle bigger until you have a decent size on there. Up to you. And this would be your moon or your sun, whatever you want to call it. And again, we're using student grade paint, so I'm applying that pretty thick so that way it will have a little bit better coverage. And now you can see that I'm moving back up to that first mixture that was a little bit darker, and we're just going to kind of go right around, make a ring around this circle. Now where the two shades meet, you can move your brush over that with light pressure to kind of blend the two together. If you feel like doing that with your fingers, it's kind of nice to finger paint as well. And now we're just going a little bit darker gray, and that's all we're going to do as we get towards the edges of the canvas. So you'll add a little bit more black to your mixture, add another ring, do a little bit of your blending, and then you can add another ring around that until we get to the edges of the canvas. Now as you're doing your blending, you do want to kind of keep light pressure, and that will just kind of soften that line. And this is something that gets easier with more and more practice. So if this is your very first time painting, I'm really proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone and giving this a try. And I guarantee that your next painting will be even easier and a little bit more comfortable once you get that first painting kind of out of the way and into your memory banks of going, you know, this wasn't too bad. All right, so now we're actually using that almost the pure black, just for the darkest areas in each of the corners. And if you are on a stretched canvas, I do recommend that you carry each of these colors around the edges of the canvas when you reach the edge. So right now you do want to do all your blending that you want while the paint is wet. And we are going to go back to that center. I'm cleaning the brush really good. We're going to go back with pure white and put that in the center. And this is called wet on wet blending. And we'll be doing that in a moment. Right now with the dry brush, it makes it a little bit easier to do some of the blending, but you also want to be cautious that once you've blended the dark area, you want to wipe your brush off, wipe off that darker color before you move into the lighter colors. So here you can see where I slapped that white right in the center, and you're going to blend it in. And the more you move your brush, the more it's going to blend in with that base color, whatever's underneath it. So if you need that to stay a little bit more white, maybe less brush strokes. If you need to reapply the white, go for it. And a few points here you're going to see to where I kind of blend into the dark and then wipe off the brush to start back into the light area. And this is just going to be kind of a nice balance that each one of you is going to find with your process of painting. Here we go. We're going to apply a little bit more of that white. And again, just kind of start in the center with the light and work our way out. All right, and you can kind of see that I am holding the brush at a bit of a 45-degree angle, and that's keeping that white a little bit more solid. It's still pretty much a light gray. It's not pure white, but it's also kind of smoothing out some of my brush strokes. So kind of play with the angle of your brush as you're getting comfortable with the painting process. And like I said earlier, if you paint this 2 and 3 times, you're just going to keep building on your skills and get more and more comfortable. All right, so before we move into the next section, you do want to do everything that you want to your background now while it's wet. And then I do want you to let it dry before we move into putting our tree on here. And acrylic paint takes about 10 to 15 minutes to dry. So take a break and come back to it. And do take your progress photo. Now, if you want to switch up and do a different silhouette design, you are more than welcome to do that. On here, we're just going to do a tree, and we are starting with the tree trunk first, and I'm using that middle flat brush, and I'm just bringing the bottom of the trunk. It gets a little bit wider towards the bottom, just right off the edge of the canvas. Then we're going to do the branches. There we go. And your branches will be kind of thick, and then they get a little bit thinner as they get into the smaller branches. So if you need to switch between the middle flat brush and the small pointy brush, go right ahead and do that. Another thing to note is the pressure of your brush will affect the width of your line. Light pressure will create a tinier, skinnier line. More pressure creates a bit of a wider line. So again, if you've got varying widths in there, just kind of play with it. This is where you're at for your beginning stages. And what you learn today will make more sense and be more comfortable the next time that you paint. And I encourage all my students to find a creative outlet on a regular basis for themselves. All right, and you can make your tree anything that you want. We will not be putting foliage on this tree, but you are welcome to do that. In some of my other YouTube videos, you can see how to add your foliage, or even other teachers that are out there on YouTube. But your tree can be any shape that you want. It can have as many or as few branches as you want. And as you're getting into this process, I do recommend that you prop your painting up and look at it from a distance of 5 to 10 feet away. And that is the normal viewing distance for most things in life, and especially artwork. And if you see something from that distance and go, oh, I want to put a branch here, go back to your painting and put a branch there. Trust your instincts of what you see from a distance, and then go back and make the adjustments needed. That is part of the creative process. And with that being said, trust your instincts. They are going to be guiding you in the direction you need to go for your creative efforts. So now I did move down to the small pointy brush, putting on some of those smaller twigs and branches coming off. And if you need to, feel free to turn your canvas upside down, sideways, put it on your lap, whatever you need to. I do keep it in the same orientation since I'm filming the video, but you do not have to do that when you are painting at home. Basically, I just want you to get comfortable so that way you keep painting, and creative people are a little less stressed and they're a little bit happier because they know what they're capable of. So I want you to get there for yourself and realize that you are way more creative than you possibly have given yourself credit for in the past. All right, and if you want to put birds in the tree, go right ahead. If you want to put different animals, I think I will put a little owl on the tree kind of towards the end. And anything that you want to add that's not done in this video, just Google that subject matter with silhouette behind it, and you can just use that image and break down simple shapes and create your silhouette on your painting. And many of my students have gotten pretty creative with what they do for their silhouettes in many of the tutorial paintings that I have on my channel. So I look forward to what you're going to create. All right, and last tip, if you are finding that your brush is shaky as you're going to apply this because you're on such skinny lines, that means you're holding your breath. So if you exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas, it's going to make your process a little bit easier. All right, so I think this was the part where I was deciding if I was going to put an animal or a bird in here, and then went ahead, it's like, yep, we're going to put a bird in there. So I'm going to extend that branch a little bit, and then for our owl, it's just going to be an oval and a circle shape for the head, oval for the body, and a circle for the head. And then I thought of the great horned owl, so I put little like Batman ears on it. So again, an oval, little ears right there, and they're just a little line with the paintbrush, and then fill that in. So great job, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out and getting creative. Please do not wait too long to get creative again. You're going to keep building on your skills. So until the next time, cheers. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the process of painting, and I hope you liked how your paintings turned out. I'm really proud of you for painting at home.
As you're uploading your pictures to social media, please tag me at or hashtag paintwithlovejoy, or email me your pictures, paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. I really enjoy seeing those. I try to post them on social media and encourage other beginners and first-time painters to try painting. So please share this with your community and keep getting creative. If you have any comments, feedback, suggestions, things you want me to paint in the future, go ahead and leave a comment, and I will answer them as quickly as I can and try to get those new paintings in my production list and on the rotation. So thanks again for taking time out of your day to get creative with me. Don't wait too long to do your next one. And until then, cheers.